At 3 p.m. tomorrow, millions of Britons will sit down to watch the Queen's annual Christmas speech. The festive tradition, established by her grandfather, King George V in 1932, will once again see the monarch, 95, reflect on the year that has passed and send a personal message to her subjects. In the more than 6 decades since her inaugural appearance, the Queen's speech has transformed from a radio broadcast to a vibrant televised production, with dozens of outfit and venue changes in between. Here, ahead of her address tomorrow, Femail looks back at 10 of the most memorable speeches. 1952 months after the death of her father, King George VI, a 26-year-old Queen Elizabeth took on the daunting task of delivering the Christmas speech. Dressed in a classic suit, the Queen took her seat behind a desk at Sandringham, Norfolk, where equipment had been set up to record her message for radio. In her message, she paid tribute to her late father and asked people to remember her at the time of her coronation the following June. She also thanked the public for their support in the 10 months since her ascension to the throne. 1967. Some 15 years later, the Queen's Christmas broadcast was shown in color for the first time. It was first televised in 1957. She said, "Modern communications make it possible for me to talk to you in your homes and to wish you a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year." These techniques of radio and television are modern, but the Christmas message is timeless. As if to showcase the brilliance of the new technology, the monarch, then 41, plumped for a satin dress in a vibrant canary yellow color. The speech was recorded in Buckingham Palace, although the framed photos that now draw so much interest were not yet included in the setup. In her speech, the Queen paid tribute to Canada on the centenary of its Confederation. 1971. The Queen's Christmas broadcast in 1971 focused on the theme of families. The television version showed Prince Andrew, then 11, and Prince Edward, then 7, looking at a family photograph album. The young royals were smartly dressed in chinos, white shirts and ties. Showcasing her lifelong love of bright colors, the Queen donned a blue dress for the broadcast and finished the look with a bow. 1975. Breaking from the norm, the speech was broadcast from the gardens of Buckingham Palace, marking the first time it was recorded outdoors. The Queen wrapped up in a heavy coat to stay warm on the chilly and grey winter's day. It was a year of record inflation and unemployment in the UK and worldwide, to which the Queen referred. She said, "We are horrified by brutal and senseless violence, and above all the whole fabric of our lives is threatened by inflation, the frightening sickness of the world today." Then Christmas comes, and once again we are reminded that people matter, and it is our relationship with one another that is most important. 1985. 10 years later, and the Queen had returned indoors for the broadcast, this time to her desk at Buckingham Palace. A framed photograph, radio, and a vase of fresh flowers added a personal touch to the setup. In a year of a devastating earthquake that killed 10,000 in Mexico, a volcano eruption that killed 23,000 in Colombia, a famine in Africa, and a plane crash off the coast of Ireland, the Queen decided to focus on the positive news stories from the year. 1991. From 1986 to 1991, the Christmas Day broadcast was produced by Sir David Attenborough. During this time, the Queen swapped her block color outfits for more patterned and visually interesting looks. A miniature silver corgi can be spotted on the desk in front of her, a sweet nod to her lifelong love of animals. The Queen's Christmas broadcast in 1991 reflected on the enormous changes taking place across Eastern Europe and Russia, and the importance of democratic traditions. 1998. The broadcast features framed black and white photographs of Prince William, Prince Harry, Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie in the background of the shot. She drew on her experience as the matriarch of a growing family to explore the theme of generations working together. It is not always easy for those in their teens or 20s to believe that someone of my age of the older generation might have something useful to say to them, she said. But I would say that my mother has much to say to me. The broadcast also included film of the Queen and the Queen Mother visiting the Field of Remembrance at Westminster Abbey. Once again, the Queen was in blue, this time bringing a touch of sparkle with the Williamson diamond brooch. 2006. Filmed at Southwark Cathedral. 2006 marked only the second time the speech was filmed outside of a royal residence. The Queen donned a vibrant green skirt suit as she met children working on a nativity collage at the cathedral. In her speech, the monarch thanked the public for the very generous response to her 80th birthday. 2013. With the birth of Prince George and the 60th anniversary of her own coronation, the Queen had plenty to celebrate in 2013 and chose a yellow dress to reflect it. Pride of place behind Her Majesty was a framed photograph of herself with Charles, William, and George, 3 generations of heirs to the British throne. She acknowledged his arrival, saying, "As so many of you will know, the arrival of a baby gives everyone the chance to contemplate the future with renewed happiness and hope." For the new parents, life will never be quite the same again as with all who are christened. George was baptized into a joyful faith of Christian duty and service. After the christening, we gathered for the traditional photograph. It was a happy occasion, bringing together 4 generations. 2017. Last year, the Queen used her speech to welcome another new member to the family, Prince Harry's then new fiancée, Meghan. A framed photo of the couple from their engagement shoot was on display alongside other family pictures. The annual address was produced by Sky News and was recorded in the palace's 1844 room, which is decorated with a large tree and features family photos. It marked the 60th anniversary of her first Christmas Day broadcast. 2018. The Queen's annual Christmas message was filmed in the White Drawing Room at Buckingham Palace on December 12 and has been produced this year by Sky News. In it, she is wearing a cocktail dress stained by her senior dresser, Angelo Kelly, in ivory silk with pastel blue, white and gold lame lace overlay. Sweetly, her brooch was a gift from the Duke of Edinburgh in 1966. It is known as the Scarab Brooch, designed by Andrew Grima, and is crafted of yellow gold with carved ruby with diamond embellishments. On the table in the White Drawing Room can be seen a black and white photograph by Baron of the then Princess Elizabeth, the Duke of Edinburgh and a young Prince Charles, 1948. The Queen never leaves anything to chance, and this is clearly a reference to her son and heir on the occasion of his 70th birthday last month.